What's up, everybody?
Hi.
Say
All
hi.
right. Hey, can you guys see my screen? Can you see my
Uh-huh.
screen?
Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, you guys can see my screen and you can see me and you can hear me. Is that right? You can see a
Uh-huh.
welcome like on the beach. You guys can see that?
Yeah, we can see it all, hear it all.
Perfect.
Yes.
All
Hello?
right. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I think my team is going to have to mute everybody during the presentation. And okay, let's start with some ground rules. Let me see. Let me set up my screen. So I got to set up. Okay, I got my chat here. I can see you guys. I got my participants here. I can see everyone. Hey, in the chat, I know you guys know how to use chat because you went to school at some point during 2020, 2021, and probably 2022, and you're masters of Zoom. You probably run circles around your parents in the Zoom world. So, hey, can you drop in the chat? So in the chat, just tell me where you're from. Tell me where you live. I think there's going to be a lot of like Middle Tennessee people, but if you can, in the chat, tell me where you live. Tennessee, Vegas, Spring Hill, Tennessee, Vegas, Thompson Station, Orlando, Florida, Grand Rapids, Ringgold, Georgia. I know where that is. South Carolina, Johnson City, Tennessee, Toronto, Canada. What's up, Toronto? Thompson Station, El Paso, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Franklin, Santa Maria, California, Spring Hill. What's up, Spring Hill in the house? Wisconsin. We're probably the only event right now that has that many people from Spring Hill, Tennessee. Memphis, Greenville, South Carolina, Florida, Franklin, Tennessee, Orem, Utah. Cool. Mount Juliet, originally from California. Okay. Oh, man. Many people here. This is awesome. Columbia, Tennessee, Cumming, Georgia, Tennessee, Spring Hill, Sarasota, Florida, Alberta, California, Oolaga, Oklahoma. Awesome. Yeah, there is people from all over the country here, Orlando. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Orlando's in a snuggie. Orlando hangs out with us at our teenage event every Thursday night. All right, you guys ready to go? Let me know in the chat. Put a number 1 in the chat if you guys are ready to go. Put a number 1 in the chat if you guys are ready to go. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Welcome to the Flip Anything Challenge. This is the first time I've ever done this. My name is Bill Allen. I'm going to introduce myself real quick so you know who I am. And then we're going to get down to what we're going to do over the next 3 days. I'm really happy that you guys came here. And if you're watching this on a recording, there's a lot of kids that are still in school or kids that couldn't make it. They're watching this on a recording. That's okay too. So we've got some ways for you to communicate with me and my team during this challenge. What we're going to do is over these next 3 days, I'm going to be like 1 day ahead of you. And I'm going to give you something to do at the end of each one of these events that is going to hopefully make you quite a bit of money this week. So I want this week to actually mean something. I want it to be something that you guys do, not just like something that you learn. I love school. I think school is great. I'm very highly educated. But when I went into the real world, I was actually like learning what I was doing when it came to what I wanted to do, my goals, my dreams, making money, just all these things that were exciting for me. A lot of it happened in the real world. So I want this to be a real world experience for you. So it's not just going to be like show up for an hour and hang out with me. It's actually going to be like us like doing work together and having a little bit of things to do afterwards that's going to make you money. So I'm excited about this. And at any time, if you have a question, drop it in the chat. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat. I just ask that you keep your computers muted. We got a lot of people in here, and it's going to be really hectic if everybody kind of unmutes. So we'll have some time where I'll call on some people. We'll have some questions. But if you have questions, drop them in the chat. All right, let's roll. And I see some people in here I haven't seen in a really long time. I'm really excited about this. This is the first time we've ever done something like this for you guys. All right, let's see if this thing works. I'm going to go through a little bit of PowerPoint and then we're going to learn. Okay, this is me. My name's Bill. This is when I was Billy. So I'm this kid. Can you guys see my cursor? Let me know in the chat if you can see my cursor when I'm like circling stuff. Okay, cool. So this is me as a Cub Scout. But the reason why I show this picture is this is about the age I got like really interested in making money. So I was at a very young age, I was very interested in kind of making money. And this is some of the things I would think about. I really wanted to turn like $1 into $2. That really excited me, turning $1 into $2 and just figuring out how to kind of multiply money. I don't know why money was so interesting to me. It wasn't like I was really greedy or anything. I just was like fascinated with being able to like buy my own stuff and make my own money even at a very young age, not just being kind of like given stuff. So this is the first thing that I did. I got candy. And I don't tell this story to tell all of you to go like sell candy at your school, but I would buy candy in bulk. So my dad was in the military, and we got to shop at this place called the commissary. And so we go to the commissary, and the commissary had no tax, and it was very cheap. And so I bought all this candy in bulk. You know, all the stuff that says like not for resale on it, like boxes of candy, and then I broke it up and I sold candy. So then I put it in pencil boxes, and then I sold it in front of my school. And so if you guys are going to do something like that, I would recommend that you, so I'd flip candy, basically, started flipping. And if you guys are going to do something like that, I recommend you get some permission to do that. Hey, Rock, I see your comment in here. Please tell me when you're going to get to the meat of the video. Knowing about you is irrelevant and a waste of my time. So I'm sorry you feel that way, but this is training. So for all the kids that are on here, my goal is to inspire you guys to do something like this. Like I started flipping things, and it's part of the training. Like everything that we do over the next hour is going to be part of the training. So Rock, it's okay. If it's not for you, you don't have to stay. But if you guys want to stay, stay. And so everything that I talk about, everything that I teach over the next hour, maybe hour and a half, is going to be training. So you're already in the content. So, okay. So then I went from this to kind of selling candy at school to baseball cards. So the next thing for me was kind of like baseball cards. I would like buy a ticket to get like baseball players to sign baseballs and baseball cards for me and stuff like that. And then I would turn around and sell them. I would trade with my friends and sell baseball cards at school and things like that. And then I actually set up a booth when I was like 12 years old or 13 years old at a mall. I set up a booth where I was selling baseball cards with a bunch of like guys my age, like in their 40s. And I was trading baseball cards and selling baseball cards. And then I started flipping my time. So I flipped candy, then I flipped baseball cards and football cards and autographs and stuff like that. And now I started flipping my time. And so, hey team, if you guys can just like, it sounds like Rock doesn't want to be here. So let's send him on his way if it's okay with everybody. So I'm not related. It's Robert Allen. Yeah, he's a good dude, actually. I met him a few years ago. It's a great guy. So I started flipping my time. I started shoveling driveways and things like that, mowing lawns, mowing grass and stuff like that. So I started flipping my time. I started like working hard and flipping my time to make some money. This is me like shoveling my parents' driveway right now and stuff like that. And then I started like finding stuff around the house. So if you can see in this closet, you can see like skates. If you see at the top there, I got these ice skates. I remember selling those. I got like cleats down here. So like after my soccer cleats wouldn't fit me anymore, I would turn around and sell those things. And then like basically anything I could find around the house, if I wasn't using it anymore, and it like wore its life or I could turn around and sell it, I would turn around and sell it and just, sell stuff on like either to my friends. We didn't have like the internet wasn't huge then. You guys have a huge opportunity right now. Okay. So then I became an Eagle Scout. So I was a Boy Scout. My dad said, Bill, you can't drive a car until you get your Eagle Scout. So while I was doing that, I bought this car. So anyway, I got my Eagle Scout at 15 and a half years old. And at 16, I got my driver's license. And about 16 and a half, I bought this car. So I bought this used, it was a gray Mustang. I didn't pull a picture of it before I started painting it, but I bought this 1991 Mustang 5-liter, and I bought it, it was on classified ad, and I negotiated the guy down. And then I fixed it up. So I painted it in a paint booth. I was in a high school that had this paint booth. It was a technology magnet school, and it turned out really good. This spoiler on the back is called a saline spoiler. I actually like traded some things for it. My friend's dad worked at an auto shop. He owned an auto place, and he could order these for cost. So I got it wholesale and installed it and painted it together. And then I supercharged this car in my driveway, actually. So this driveway right here is where I lived in Columbia, Maryland, just outside of Baltimore. And I supercharged it myself. So I got the supercharger by trading another guy a little bit of money and another one of these wholesale saline spoilers. And I got a supercharger, and I fixed it up myself in the driveway with my own money. And I used to race these Mustangs when I was a kid. Between like 16 and 18, I'd race them at the track. And so it was really fun. I got this car right here to a 12.7 and a quarter mile. So if anybody else really likes cars, that's something I did. And then I went into the military. After that, I went in the military. I started flying helicopters. This is an H-60 Sierra that I flew at HSC-23 on one of our deployments. This is me. I got to fly a T-38. I became a test pilot in the Navy. And then I started flipping houses. Like while I was in the military, I started flipping houses. This is one of our before and after houses here. And so I got to fix up houses and sell them. I've flipped over 1,000 houses in the past probably 9 years now, me and my team. So really fun. This is my family. This is my son, Will. He's going to turn 10 tomorrow. This is my son, Lucas. He is 6 now. And this is my son, James. He's 7. And this is my wife, Lucy. So this is taken a couple years ago. And then I got these companies now. Like this company teaches people how to flip houses and wholesale houses. This one teaches people how to flip apartment buildings and commercial real estate. This teaches entrepreneurs how to get from a couple $1 million a year to $10 million a year. So this is kind of where I spend my time and what I do. I also have a farm. I think a lot of you know me from the farm. And so you either come to our farmers market or do something with our farm. And we sell produce. We basically flip seeds. We plant seeds, we grow them, and then we turn around and sell the produce and the chickens and the beef and all that stuff to other people to make a profit and also pay all the staff and the manpower and the labor and the people that are on the farm. So this was like the first year, the end of the first year of our farm right here. And if you've been there recently, this is where the big elderberry bushes, this row of trees are huge. We've expanded massively. Well, what happened is we had this little girl named Riley who started coming to our events, and then she started doing work with her dad and getting into real estate. And then she came and spoke on my stage at this event I have called Flip Hacking Live. I brought my son, Will. This is him at his first conference. He was probably like 7. And then I had this 12-year-old kid named Dawson. He flipped a house and turned it into a rental. So him and his dad fixed it up. It was Dawson's house. He fixed it up. He got the loan on it. He bought it. They did all the work. And then he kept it as a rental property. So Dawson's got his own rental property. This is Sophia Mendez. She might even be on the call here. She was at like 16 years old, had wholesaled a couple houses and flipped a house. And now at 17, almost 18, I think she's done like 7 houses. And so I tell you all this to show you that it's possible. Like you could flip anything, and it doesn't matter your age. It just kind of matters your circles and who you're surrounded with. And that's what I hope to bring you over the next couple days. This is a good friend of mine, Nick Santanastasso. He came and talked to our Teenage Tycoon group. So my son, Will, had the opportunity to rub shoulders with Nick and hang out with him backstage at some of our events. And he's come in to talk to the kids in our program. It's been really cool. We have these other kids that are just showing up at our event. This is a multifamily event. We've got kids showing up at multifamily events, drawing me drawings and stuff like that. And then here's my son, Lucas. Last year, we did an event for kids at my office in Spring Hill, Tennessee. It was one of the coolest things we've ever done. And these are the kids from ages like 5 all the way up to 18 that were at the event. And this is one of my favorite pictures. Like these kids are learning about real estate, about money, about investments. And on the other side of that, my favorite pictures, this is a great picture, but this was my favorite. It was all the parents holding up their camera at the end of the event to take a picture of their kids and all they accomplished. And I hope over these 3 days, that's exactly what you guys get from what I teach you in the next 3 days is you get to have a lot of fun. You get to learn a lot of stuff. And then also your parents are so excited and they're taking pictures of you, whatever you decide to do after this, okay? But here's what we're going to do. So we are going to set a goal. We're going to make a plan. We're going to get to work. We're going to stick to it, and we're going to reach our goal, okay? So we're going to have a goal over this week. So going into it, I don't want to, like I said, these 3 days, I want to actually have something that we do. So my goal for you is to make at least $100 this week, okay? At least $100 this week. So let me know in the chat if it would be cool if you guys made $100. So if you tell me how much money you'd like to make this week in the chat, just tell me how much money you'd like to make. And if maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 200, maybe it's whatever, let me know. $12,000 this week, Shati, awesome. At least 100,000. Oh my gosh. 100, 150, 100, 100. Okay, 50, 150. Okay, cool. So if you guys remember, we want to set a goal that's a SMART goal. Okay. If you guys never heard of this, a SMART goal is something that's specific, it's measurable. Okay. It's attainable. It's realistic, and it's timely or relevant. Relevant is also another word. So specific. So if we set a dollar figure, okay, it's measurable. A dollar figure is going to be measurable that you can make this much money over this week, right? Specific, measurable, attainable. So something that we can actually do. If you're, I'm kind of frozen. Sorry about that. If you're like 13 years old and let me plug this back in. Sorry about that. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me again. Sorry about that. Thumbs up. Sometimes my camera freezes. Okay, I am back. So we want to make sure it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And so $100. And that was my last slide for that. I'm going to go into exactly what we're going to do. So we want to make sure that it's something realistic. If you're 13 years old, making $20,000 this week might not be realistic, right? Or attainable. So, okay, we got anywhere from like a couple $100. I know, I'll have to share it again. So the presentation is pretty much done. I'm going to go into how we're going to do this next. Okay, I see $30 to $50, $100, $100, $150, $150, $75, $500. Good. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to write that down. I want you to write down the number of what you want to make this week. So just write it down. Just write it down. Think about it. Put it in your head. That way you don't change it. I don't want you to change it, okay? Because it's very easy to say, all right, I want to make, $500, but then as the week goes on, it's getting a little tough. And you're only, you make 50, you're like, you know what, I'm just going to drop it to 100. So when we set a goal, we want to set a goal that we can actually achieve. All right, you guys want to see what we're going to do this week? I can see you now, so give me a head shake or a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, Orlando's doing a fist pump. Okay, the Stewart family's hanging around the couch. I can see you guys. What's up? They're going to make a ton of money this week, I'm sure. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you what we did, what I did with my son. And then remember, I'm a day ahead of you. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do this week and how we're going to do this. And you guys are going to learn marketing. You're going to learn sales. You're going to learn communication this week. You're going to learn about how to pick a product, like what to actually sell and what you can do with what you have, depending on your age or what you have around, what resources you have available to you. Some of you probably don't have a car. I can see we have a lot of younger kids here. You don't have cars, right? You're not driving all around town, going to look at stuff and going to shops, right? So you might have to do some more things. You might not have a computer or a phone or things like that, right? You might have to leverage what your parents have and get some of their support and some of their help. So one thing you might need to do is actually enroll your parents too. But your parents probably gave you this link. They probably brought you here, right? Who's not sure if you want to be here? Let me know in the chat if you're like, I'm not sure what this is going to be, and my parents kind of made me do this. Let me know in the chat if that's you. It's okay if it's you. You're not going to get in trouble or anything. Be like, I'm not sure about this. Like, I'm not exactly sure what this is going to be like in the chat. Let me know. Fernando said, all of my kids are not so sure. Well, I tell you what. Okay, Jennifer. Okay, I want to be here. Me. So not so sure. That's okay. It's okay if you're not sure. Because a lot of it is just sometimes, you come on something like this, you figure out what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Sometimes it's okay to figure out, hey, this isn't exactly for me. So Declan said, I don't know if I'm going to make much. I don't know if I'm going to make much. So, Liz Vermachuk is here. Hugh and Nathan, what's up, guys? She sent me a picture this morning. They're in an empty house watching us. All right. A lot of pressure. I got to perform. Okay. Let me go to my screen here. I'm going to share it again. And I want to make sure I can still see you guys. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Now, can you guys see my screen again? Can you see it? I'm going to open up the chat again. Yeah. Okay, good. You guys can see it. All right. So here's what I'm going to show you. I'm in something called Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to show you this as an example of something that we did. And what we're going to do is we're going to find something to flip this week. Okay. So it's going to be really important. We're going to find something to flip. You can flip anything, even these watermelons. Okay. I grew these watermelons and we sold them. These are just some like listings that we put on there. This is a car. This is a car that I listed and sold. So I sold my car on Facebook Marketplace. I've got an event venue at my office that I rent out. We do that on Facebook Marketplace. But what I want to show you is something that I did this weekend or over Christmas. So look at this. I listed this and sold it on December 25th. Can you guys see that? I know it's probably kind of small. But we did this inside of our Teenage Tycoon program. So we have a group. Some of the kids are in here with you guys right now. We have a Teenage Tycoon group where we teach kind of marketing and sales and teach the kids how to make some money. We read books together. We do all kinds of stuff. And what we did was we started flipping some things. So I gave them an assignment. The first assignment I gave them was to find something around their house that their parents were okay with them finding and cleaning up and selling, and then turn around and sell it to make some money and use that money as seed capital for what they want to do next. Okay. So my homework to you guys tonight is going to be to go into your attic or talk to your parents about something that you could possibly flip. And I'm just going to show you a couple examples of what I found when I went into the attic, and then this was me cleaning out our garage over Christmas. So I went and found this. Let me see if it'll pull up. Okay. So I had this baby jogger City Select double stroller. So our kids are, like I said, 6, 7, and about to be 10. And I don't need this thing anymore. Like, look at this thing. It's like a little baby stroller. We took these to Disney all the time. I could put both kids in there. Our kids are like almost the same age. They look like twins. Everybody thinks they are. And it folds up really small and like really small like that. And so I just listed this and I sold it for $140. So I found this thing that I wasn't using anymore and I sold it for $140. Do any of you have like little brothers and sisters, or were any of you little at one time? Were any of you guys little at one time? Yeah, everybody's raising their hand. So do you guys have some of these sitting around anymore, you think, that your parents aren't using or you're not using anymore? This is just one example. Let me show you another one. So that was the stroller. Then I had this jogging stroller that I had. Apparently we keep stuff a really long time. So I had this jogging stroller. And if you guys saw this before I like cleaned it up, made it look nice and took pictures of it, it was kind of like in the corner of my garage. And I listed this jogging stroller and I sold this thing for $50. In one day I sold that. And then, I got a direct message said, I think my neighbors bought that jogging stroller from you. They probably did. It was both of these are sold in Spring Hill. I know the guy that bought the jogging stroller from me. And they sent me a message. And so then I also had this green balance bike that my kids like never used. And so I just listed it for $35 and sold that. So these are just a few things. And so I did this on Christmas Day because at Christmas I cleaned up my garage. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to give this as homework to our Teenage Tycoon group. And they sold all kinds of stuff. So one of the girls in our group, her dad flips houses, and she had like tables and things like that. And she got them from her dad's houses and started selling those things on Facebook Marketplace. And she was able to sell them. So what I'm going to teach you over this next couple days is today we're going to talk about some different things that you can actually flip. And I want you guys to give me some ideas in the chat in a little bit, and we'll start talking about some of those things. Like, what could you flip? Because, I mean, in my past, I've probably flipped lots of stuff, like cars, boats. I flipped an airplane, houses, baseball cards, like I talked about, candy, all that kind of stuff, right? And so everything's out there if you understand value. And so that's where we're going to go to next is in the beginning, what you need something, because you're probably not starting with money. You guys probably don't have a whole lot of money to buy inventory, right? You don't have a ton of money to buy things right now to flip, right? So you need to actually create some capital and some cash. So step one of creating cash this week, I think, is going to be finding some things around the house that you and listen, your parents don't have to give you these things 100% either. You could say, hey, mom and dad, if I sold this for whatever, maybe start, here's where you start. Could I keep all the money? And maybe they say yes. Okay. And if they say yes, great. Okay. But if they don't say yes, then say, well, could we do a 50-50 JV? Okay. And JV stands for joint venture. So mom and dad, could we partner in this where I'll clean it up, I'll do the work, and I'll give you a percentage of the sales? Okay. So you don't have to do any of the work. You just have to maybe help me with, posting some of the photos and stuff like that on your account. And then, we'll do a percentage. That makes sense? It could be 80-20. You keep 80%, and those numbers are percentage. So you can keep a certain percent of what you sell. Okay. So here's one so we did this, and I see some questions in there. I'll answer some of the questions in a second. So then I gave that assignment on December 25th, remember? And this is what me and my son Will found in the attic. Me and my son Will went up to the attic and we found this espresso machine. It's like a coffee machine. I don't drink coffee and Will doesn't drink coffee either, but my wife drinks coffee. She bought this thing. She used it like 3 times and then she put it in the attic. So me and Will went up to the attic and we found it. Okay. So I found this espresso machine. I'll show you what it looks like. And it looks like this. I had him clean it up. I said, Will, if you want this money, you got to clean it up. You got to take the pictures of it and you got to post it online. And tomorrow we're going to spend a lot of time talking about what it should say, what it should look like, what all the pictures should be. But right now, I just want to give you a little inspiration on what you could possibly sell. Okay? So we found this espresso machine, and then we'll look at all the comparables. We'll look at everything tomorrow based on that. And so I'm about to go a little bit deeper, but I want to show you some options here. So right here, I found it retails for $850. So a brand new one's over $850, $850 plus tax, so probably over $900 when it's all said and done. And then we took it, we cleaned it up, and we sold it for $550. Okay, $550. So Will got quite a bit of money in his first week of doing something just like this, if you have something like this. Now, the thing was, Will didn't come with me to sell it. He didn't negotiate it. He didn't want to come with me. So he didn't get all this money. We had to work a split because he didn't do all the work. So that's my advice to you is if you're going to do all the work, work with your parents. Maybe you have to buy it from them. I bet we would have sold this to Will for like $100 and he can go sell it for $550 and flip it. So this is about flipping something, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if it makes sense. Give me a number 2 if it makes sense to you guys. Give me a number 2. Number 2 in the chat if it makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay, if I give you guys numbers, you blow up the chat. All right, cool. Let me answer a couple of the questions, then I'll keep moving. Sophia said, my toys. Toys are a good one. Toys are a really good one to sell. There's things that you don't use anymore, especially if they're yours. You might have some things around your bedroom that you could sell, but we'll look at this next. It's got to have some value to it. It's got to have some value, okay? Okay, so it says, did you ever lose money? So I'll answer a couple questions and I'll share my screen again. So did I ever lose money flipping? Yeah, I've lost some money flipping houses. So I've lost money in about probably maybe 5 houses. And one of them I lost $70,000. That was the biggest loss, $70,000. But keep in mind, guys, I just saw a lot of people go, ah. Keep in mind, we were doing that year, we were doing like $3 million that year. So losing $70,000 is a small percentage of the revenue of the company. Okay. So if that was the only thing that I was flipping, then yeah. But in the beginning, that's why I want you to have very low risk items up front, right? I don't want you to go buy a bunch of stuff that you try to sell for more. And I'll show you how to buy stuff for the right price that it's impossible not to make money, or very, very difficult, very difficult. Won't always say impossible. But that house, that house that I showed you in the picture that we flipped, I lost $50,000 on that house. I lost $50,000 on that one. So it was a pretty house, but I lost $50,000. Okay. But we've also made hundreds of thousands of dollars on these. Okay, I think I have $80. Sell fruit, shoes, electronics, fruit. I like fruits. Selling old things is a great idea. Gina said, we just moved and we have so much junk. You're really awesome. We're going to the commissary today and we're going to get some candy and sell it to the kids around the neighborhood. That's great. Great place to sell like candy. Think about this, candy, waters, Gatorade, stuff like that. Imagine at the sport fields in the day, right? If you're allowed, okay? If you set up like a little booth where you're selling candy or water or those kind of things, I mean, you could buy a water for like 10 cents and sell it for like $1.50. Those are great margins. And people that are there, it's really hot, stuff like that. If you think about like different places you can go to do that. Now, most of those places have concession stands, so you want to be careful, selling things where you're not supposed to. But I definitely ask permission, see what you can do, and those are all really good ideas. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again because actually before I do that, I'm going to hold up. So I told you I'm a day ahead of you, okay? So your homework tonight is going to be to find something around the house to flip, okay? And then bring it tomorrow so that we're going to work through that. So, okay. Oh man, it's on the other side of the room. Give me 1 second. I got to go get it. I'm not prepared. 1 second. Okay. Okay, can you guys see this? So I went in the attic this weekend. Me and Will went in the attic in preparation for this. And this is, does anybody know what this is? Tell me in the chat if you know what this thing is. What is this little thing? You guys know? I'm going to scroll down the chat. Lots of twos here. Okay, somebody said baby carrier. It's like a little bassinet. Yeah, bassinet. That's right. So people said, no, I do not know what that is. Baby basket. Yes. I'm looking at all the other old clothes stuff in the attic. Oh, what's the most I've ever made? Sally said, what's the most I've ever made? The most I've ever made on a house, I think, is like 150,000. But we sold an apartment and made like over $1 million on an apartment. Okay. I see another question in here about flipping sneakers. We'll talk about that a little bit. Just ask me that one again. Okay, so I got this bassinet, right? And this bassinet, it was too big to bring in, but the bassinet comes with a like a stroller. It's like a stroller that the bassinet clips into, and you can have like a bassinet and a stroller thing, right? And then I also found a pack and play. Do you guys know what a pack and play is? It's like the little square thing that sets up that the babies go into, you know, so they can't get, like, their parents are watching them. They like sleep in there when they travel and stuff like that. So I have these things. I have these items that I found. I also found some like chairs that strap to the table at a restaurant that little kids sit in. So like all of our little baby kid stuff. So we pulled all that out of the attic this week, and we're going to be selling all that. So tonight, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you how I'm going to research how to sell this stuff. Okay. I'm going to show you how I start pricing it. I start looking at it, and I see how much I can list it for. Okay. So because when you go into the attic and you look at that stuff, you want to know how much you can make. Okay. So the first step in any product that you're ever going to look for, there's two things that we need to think about. One is supply and one is demand. So that's what we're going to talk about for the next little bit. Anybody ever heard of supply and demand before? Anybody heard about that in school? No? Some people saying no. You guys have not heard about supply and demand in school? The Matheson kids?
I have.
How old are you? I don't know your first
have.
name, but how old are you? Matheson kid, put your age in the chat. My gosh, you guys are shaking your head no. Supply and demand. Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, some people saying yes, you're 9 and haven't heard of supply and demand. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the world revolves around supply and demand, right? Have you guys seen the Tesla truck? Have you seen the Tesla truck? Okay. So Matheson kid, shaking your head, thumbs up. So let's talk about supply and demand when it comes to the Cybertruck, the Tesla Cybertruck. Okay. You guys haven't seen a lot of them, right? They're not like everywhere driving around the Cybertrucks. So people are buying these Cybertrucks and you can't get one. Like there's been a wait for like, I don't know, 5 years or something, 4 years for one. And now they finally get one. If you got the first one, an early one, there's so much demand for it, but there's not a lot of supply, right? So you can't just go to the dealership and buy one and get it right away. You know what I'm talking about? That's supply. Supply is low, right? Low supply. So they're not easily available. And what do you think that does to the price? Does that drive the price up or the price down? Let me know in the chat. Does it drive a price up or down if you can't get something? Okay, a lot of people pointing up. Yes, that drives the price up. So if supply is low, right, and demand is high, okay, that makes sense? Yes? I think I was frozen for a second. Okay, yeah, glitch for a second. I'm back. So if supply is low and demand is high, the price goes way up, right? Okay, so the same happened for the things that are up in your attic. So what's the first thing that we need to check? What's the first thing we need to check? Declan, you're exactly right, the attic. Yeah, so let's say after we check the attic, this thing, let's talk about the pack and play. Here, I'll show you what a pack and play looks like. So I'm here in Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to put pack and play. So it kind of looks like this. You guys ever seen one of these things right here? Seen one of these things before? You've probably been in one. I bet every single one of you at some point was probably in one of these at some point, sleeping. So this has got like a little bassinet on top. It's got like a little area for diapers down here. It's got a little mattress on here. Oh, you can't see my screen. Yeah.
you didn't share.
Silly me. Silly, silly. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay, how about this? You guys can see it now? It's like, man, that's a rookie move. That was such a rookie move. Okay. All you guys make me nervous. All right, so the pack and play, you've probably been in one of these before. So this is a pack and play. So now, okay, Declan said, never in your life have you seen one. So pack and play, they look like this. There's a whole ton of them, all kinds of different ones. They roll up like this, right? So pack and play. So the first thing we want to do is what? I'm thinking about selling it, right? And I'm trying to figure out if I should sell it or not. So a lot of you are saying, look at price, research cost, things like that. Research, put a price on it, see the price. Declan said supply and demand. Okay. Look at supply and demand. Should we check supply first or demand first? What do you think? Condition it's in, okay. Orlando said supply, Declan said demand. Okay, I'm first going to check supply. I'm always going to kind of look at what's available and what's out there to see if it's like the market is totally saturated. You guys know what this word? Saturated, like there's too much stuff in the marketplace, right? If there's like 500 pack and plays within a mile of my house for like $10 or less, it's probably not going to be something that I'm going to be able to sell and make good money on. Make sense? So let's look. This is how I'm going to do it because this is probably where I'm going to sell it. So I saw a question earlier, where am I going to sell this? I got this big bulky item here, right? I got this big bulky item, this big bulky thing. And I got to figure out where to sell it. So I got this big thing. I'm not going to sell this on eBay, I don't think. I don't think I want to ship this across the country. I think it's going to cost a lot in shipping. I think it's going to be kind of a pain. Now, if I could, you guys know eBay, right? Everybody knows eBay? Yeah, so I'm probably not going to sell on eBay because it's going to be bulky. Now, if I can make a lot of money and sell it, the good thing about eBay is I can get all over the country and really all over the world. But I have to pay the shipping and packaging and all that stuff, or I have to price it into the cost, right? And so this thing's probably not going to sell for like thousands and thousands of dollars. So the challenge is shipping cost is going to be kind of high, packaging and shipping. So I'm going to stay local. So the places local that I would look right now, my best and favorite local place is Facebook Marketplace. My stuff usually sells pretty fast here locally, and I can look around my local area. Okay, so locally here, I've got pack and play, right? And maybe, and so I got Spring Hill, Tennessee, and I just have within 10 miles in here. Look at this. I got within 10 miles of my house put in. So you can change this right here. I can change the radius. I can go out further, like 20 miles. Let's go 20 miles and see how many we got and see what they're going for. And I'm going to look for something that's similar to what I have. So this one I think is the exact one that I have. So $40 listed 1 day ago. And it's got like this bassinet thing. It's got the pack and play. It's got the little extra. Now, not a great listing. We'll talk about this tomorrow, but this listing is kind of junky. I can't see. This is the only picture. The listing is kind of weak, don't you think? This listing, it's not like from a distance. It's too close up. It doesn't show it broken down. Remember my listing that I showed you guys? Here, remember my listing? Right here? This one's mine. The other one was Will's. This one's mine. So I showed it fully set up. I showed it in all the different states. Single with the hood up. None of them. Two, like facing the other direction. One hood up, one hood down, folded down. Two folded down, all folded down. So not a bad listing. I mean, if I spent some more time, I could probably make it better. But that one's pretty weak. So remember, we're looking supply now. So I'm kind of looking at some of these. So I'm seeing an average between like $20, and some of these are kind of high. Like this is kind of what it is right here. I think it's, what is this? Somebody's foot? Yeah, see, this is a bad listing. Can't you tell? What is this? Look at this. Pack and play, somebody's foot, video game system. I don't even want to keep going. This is weird. Nobody's buying that. That's weird. It's a weird listing. Don't do that. So we got it's like one of these Graco. I think this, so look at this. This is like, I don't need, man, okay. The competition is not very good. This is my competition. So I think I can win the game here with a good listing. Let's see. Here's another one in Murfreesboro, $50. Only one photo. So I'm going to teach you how to win on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. I'm going to teach you how to beat the people who are making these listings. These are really bad. Here's one for $25. Set up a little bit. Okay. So we see there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of pack and plays listed on here, isn't there? Don't you guys think? Like, look at this. I'm still going. It's becoming slightly less relevant down here, but there's a lot. Like, they got a lot to choose from. So price is going to be the factor here. People are going to hit me up on price. Yeah, high supply. So it's not driving the price up that much. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at how much it costs retail. Graco, pack and play. So I think I got like, so just this little play yard is like $45. This might be the one that I have, something like this, where it's like, this one's got like an upper and a lower and a little bassinet. So that's $100. This one's $189 with the little bassinet. This one's $300 with the bassinet. Look at that. That one that person was selling is $300 brand new. Remember that one they were selling? Up here? This one for $40. Yeah, that looks like the same one for $300. Look at that. So this one's in a little bit of shape, but $300 pack and play. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look down here. I'm going to look at availability, and I'm going to go to sold. Okay. So remember, I just looked at supply. Now I want to look at the demand. I want to look at what these things are selling for. So there's some pending ones. There's some sold ones. Dang, this thing sold for $200. What is this? It's like must be like some crazy secret pack and play. So I'm seeing 25, 25. Let's look at, so I'm just, this is what's called looking at comparables. You guys still with me? You still with me? Drop a number 3 in the chat if you're still with me. Drop a number 3 in the chat if you're still with me. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, this is what's called comparables. So anytime that I'm trying to look at the demand, I want to see what other comparables are selling for. And these are all sold listings. So you can do all this research right here for free. Haven't spent any money yet, right? Okay, so like this one, infant insert. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to start looking at some of these to try to figure out what I can charge. So this one's $40 in Franklin. This one's pretty clean. Looks pretty new, clean. Two decent pictures. So I'm looking at my competition right now and how they sold their products, and I'm studying. Do you guys like studying in school? Let me know in the chat if you like to study. Do you like to study? Yes or no? You like to study? No, no, yes, sometimes. No, 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 yes, yes, no, no, no. A lot of no's. Okay. Would you guys like to study if you could make some money? Would you study if you could make some money? People saying yes now, possibly. So I'm just studying my competition a little bit because I want to see the more time I put in here, the more likely it is that I'll, because look, I'm looking at these. See this one? This one's got 3 pictures, not bad. It's a better listing. The other one, remember the other one that we saw? That was like a picture of it that looked like this. And then it was somebody's foot. And then it was somebody's TV. You remember that one? That one was $25. This one's $40. And it sold. See the difference? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about marketing tomorrow and how we market and sell our products. Okay, so there's some selling. I think I could sell this thing. It's probably going to have to be cheap. What do you guys think the price of my pack and play is going to need to be? What do you guys think? Just Just guess. What do you think it's going to be for me to sell it fast? Because I want to sell it in a week with you guys. $10 million. 30, 45, 30. Okay, so a lot of you said, let's see, I got a couple 25s, 35s, 150. Sally Jones, if you sell this for 150, I'm hiring you. 30, 36, 35, 20. Yeah. I'm thinking somewhere around 20 or 25 bucks probably to move it fast. I think I could list it a little higher, but if you see, look at these. This one's pending, had to go from 40 to 20. Pending at 45. This one's free, 40, 45. We got a little bit more bells and whistles. Yeah. So is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up if it's making sense. Give me a thumbs up if it's making sense. Okay. So we talked about supply and demand. We see that we looked at supply. It's very heavy supply. The problem with it, I was hoping I'd get like $40 for that pack and play. So I'm going to get 40 or so for it. And we might give it a shot. We might give it a shot tomorrow and see what happens. And then I got the stroller. We'll do the same process for the stroller. We'll do the same process for the chairs. So what is some of you thinking? Does anybody have a product that they're thinking about selling? Like, you already know what you have, and you're thinking like, I saw it in the attic. I know what it is. Okay, Megan Nichols said a giant tent. A giant tent. Do you know what kind of tent it is, Megan? And then the bikes. Let me know the bikes. If you got a bike that you're thinking about, let me know. Be more specific, and I'm going to use one of these as an example. Bedazzled shoes. Bedazzled shoes. Old scooter. So remember, the first thing that we want to do is we want to think about, like, is there a market for this? Like, does somebody want my old, worn out sneakers? If they're not Jordans, probably not. Or they're not like some nice dunks. Okay, we got some books, old power lines. Not sure what that is. Old wire, maybe. Dad's pocket knife. Be careful selling pocket knives. Espresso coffee machine, football cards, dirt bikes, too small for us. Drift bike, a drift bike. Plus a dirt bike. So stuffed animals. Somebody said stuffed animals. Let's see what the market is for stuffed animals. Just because I want you guys to be careful just wasting your time selling some, like, look at this. Okay, $1 each for all these stuffed animals. You know how much that cost their parents right there? You know how much that cost their parents? Probably like $50 from Disney. Selling it for $1. This is why I have trouble buying my kids a lot of stuff. It's like it becomes worthless in like a moment. So stuffed animals. Let's see sold stuffed animals. Let's see what we got in sold stuffed animals. So we got okay. Take all these stuffed animals for $5. All of them. So I saw some kids with really big eyes. Like, I'd buy that for $5. This is where this is where I need to be buying my kids stuffed animals. Okay. So these are like, $50 for this whole bucket. This giant sloth. Look at that. My son Will would love that giant sloth for $5, $15. So yeah, just take a look. It's usually in bulk and you're not getting that much for it, but that's okay. This is how we look at supply and demand. Homemade dog bed, cool. Okay, let me try to find that tent because there's so many tents. Megan, I think you said tent. Oh, don't know the type of tent. It's going to be important for us to understand the type of tent. So kids board games might work. Shower chair. Does anybody have any more specifics? Give me somebody who has really a ton of specifics about what you have. Like, the brand, the size, that kind of stuff. Okay, battery operated Jeep. Perfect. I love this. So I've sold a ton of those things. Here we go. Battery operated Jeep. And remember, your comparables are going to look totally different than mine because mine are within 20 miles of Spring Hill, Tennessee. You're going to be in your town, close to you, and you're going to have to see what it's selling for near you. And one thing to think about, we'll talk about this tomorrow, is you might want to go a little bit further outside your town to check some comparables. But like, look at all, so we got some Jeeps on here. So like Power Wheel Jeeps. Okay, so we've got some of these, like, it looks like they're about $100 to $200. What I found is these things are usually, the problem is the battery. The battery. So $100. Let's see what's sold. Let's see what's sold in battery operated Jeeps. Okay, so we got, like, it looks like if they're under 100, they're selling decent. Here, look at this. Jeep, brand new battery, 125. Listed a week ago, sold. This one's $200. So I like to find the exact Jeep that I have and see what it's sold for, see what's listed. 2 new batteries in the Jeep. Oh, make sure that's all listed there. Bring that to me tomorrow and we'll look at it. I saw another one in here. Let's see. I saw 3-person marmot camping tent. Okay, so I would look at this to see if I can find the exact one, like if it's this one. 175 it's listed for. If I can find the exact one. And then I'd also look at sold comps, just like we did before, remember? So is this pretty easy? Can you guys following me? Everybody feel like they could do this? If you don't feel like you could do this right now, let me know in the chat what's stopping you from being able to do this. Oh, McKinley said had that exact same Jeep and sold it for $70. Okay, you feel like you can do it? Jennifer's going to mow the neighbor's yard. That's great. Business selling 3D prints. That's awesome. If you're selling 3D prints, you absolutely should be posting them on Facebook Marketplace. Even if you put like, I have other designs, you can reach out to me to find the right design that you want. I can do it maybe, easy. I don't have any stuff to sell. So, okay. The Stewart family don't have any stuff to sell. You got to find some stuff to sell. So if you don't have any stuff to sell that's in the house, then the next thing to do would, okay, let's do a little bit of that real quick. Okay, do a lemonade sale or someone Jordan's. Live in a remote area. So Ashley, yeah, that's a great one. Live in a remote area, which can make it more challenging. It absolutely can. So one thing you might want to think about if you live in a remote area, Ashley, and you're looking at comparables in your remote area, is start figuring out what could you sell that you could list somewhere else, okay, nationally. All right, so let's do that real quick. I think that's probably the best use of a few more minutes of our time. So here's what I want to do. I want to show you guys some other sites. So we know eBay, right? And eBay, some good things to sell on eBay is some like lighter items. The cool thing, Ashley, if you live in a remote area, is your demand might be low, but supply might be high. Ashley, tell me what area do you live in? Ashley Jones, tell me what area you live in. Ashley Jones, Hampshire, Tennessee. Okay, so I'm going to put here, let's put Hampshire in here. It's not that remote. Not that remote. I mean, you can hit Spring Hill, Franklin, Columbia. So, but let's put this, and then if the problem is, so what I might do is I might go look at some electronics, and instead of getting stuff from my attic, so electronics are great things to sell. Phones, old computers, things like that. It's really good for that. Lacey Wars said, I sell bracelets. Is Marketplace good for that? It can be, but bracelets are so light. Like I would be looking at shipping my bracelets. I'd be looking at eBay. I'd be looking at potentially Mercari, a few other sites I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start looking at this. So here's one thing that I do a lot is I start looking for items that I think have value somewhere else. So I'm looking for maybe a computer or a phone, ideally a phone. Dash cam, this might have some value. This $30 dash cam. Let's see what this is. So something that's like this, it has the box, dash cam. It's got the M01 Pro. Looks like it's got all the equipment. So now I'm going to go here. M01 Pro. And I'm going to look at this thing. So he's selling it for 30 bucks here. So what you guys see me doing right now is looking for some comps here. M01 Pro. So I'm going to look and see how much it is brand new. Oh man, there's a lot of these things. Here it is. It looks like this. So it's only 50 bucks brand new. So the most I'm ever getting for this thing is 50 bucks. Right? He's selling it for 30. I thought maybe I could get some higher money. So you guys following me here? I look for it brand new. I want to see what it is brand new. I pick my item. I'm looking at Marketplace. So this is the way that because I would take this and I could potentially sell it on eBay. So I'm going to look at sold, only show me sold items. This thing's sold for 5 bucks. 30 bucks, 21 bucks. So this one, best offer was accepted, probably $20. So I would have to I'd have to get this thing for free to make any money on it. That makes sense? So if I was going to buy something, I want to buy something that, let's look at this computer up here. I've got this thing. So let's look at this. This person's selling this for 500 bucks. Probably need to go to Apple for this. It looks like I can get this exact same monitor for 450. 300. So I would just start, do you see, I see what I'm doing here? I'm just kind of comping things out. I'm looking at the comparables. I'm looking to see what else is going on. So if I need to buy something, I might go into, and I would use like a more remote area. The reason I was showing you this is a remote area might have phones listed for like 20 bucks that you could sell on eBay for 100. I've sold a lot of phones on eBay. I've found stuff and people, here's the other thing that we didn't talk about. That's a good place to go. Free stuff. Let's look at what's free within 20 miles of Hampshire, Tennessee. Let's look at free stuff. So I'm in the free stuff. Dorm items. I used to flip couches in college. So they're selling stuff. They just put it in the free to get some attention. Usually you can see find couches and chairs and stuff like that for free. This is a sponsored ad. Here's an electric recliner for free. Got to be able to pick it up and move it yourself. They're not able to lift heavy stuff. You could probably get 20 or 30 bucks for this. I bet I get 30 or $40 for that chair. And if you could pick it up for free. So a lot of times you'll find like tables and chairs and stuff like that in here. This is all this other stuff's in Ethiopia. Okay, so this guy's looking to trade, but he's got a guitar that he wants to trade. Random items and furniture. And so there's some different ways that you guys can find products. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to go through some of these questions. Somebody asked, what's the homework? The homework is to find something that you can flip. You have to find something you can flip. So use what I taught you today on supply and demand to find something around the house, something in the garage, something in the attic, something that you can joint venture. Remember we talked about joint venturing with your parents on it, okay? And so, yeah, Ronnie asked if we were to buy something, would we do the same process? Oh, I want to show you a couple more sites real quick before we go. I'm going to show you a couple more sites. Right here. Okay. I want to show you this other site. It's called Mercari. And Mercari is a good place. So one thing, if you have like trading cards or toys or things like that that can be shipped easily, or clothes, shoes. There's a lot of this stuff on here. So Mercari has a lot of clothes, like men's clothes, women's clothes, kids' clothes. There's all kinds of stuff in Mercari. Mercari's become a very big seller for clothes, books, things like that. You could set up a site and you can sell there. You guys probably know about Etsy. Etsy is another place that's really good for potentially some clothes or jewelry or things like that that you guys might want to sell or make. But Mercari is a great spot, and it's really picking up a lot of pace. A lot of people were talking about games, consoles, things like that in the chat I saw. So it's going to be a place where you can check out and try to sell your stuff on Mercari. eBay is also a great place to sell like video games and smaller stuff that you can ship. So this is a shipping site. This is a site you'll have to actually ship things out. But, you know, PlayStation 5s, games, toys, things like that, you can sell on Mercari, just like eBay. So there's a couple of ideas for you outside of just Facebook Marketplace. So Facebook Marketplace is where I post all the big stuff that I don't want to ship. And then eBay, Mercari, places like that are usually where I will sell all the things that I don't mind shipping. So if you have maybe some little more vintage clothes and things like that. And the cool thing about Mercari is you can actually go to the thrift shop. You can find stuff that they're selling at the thrift shop for very cheap and go sell it on Mercari for more money. So you can find like a nice shirt or a nice pair of pants at the thrift shop for a couple bucks and then go sell it on Mercari for $10, $20, $30. And that could be your entire business in the beginning. Okay, I want to answer some of these questions. Nina said, I have 18 karat gold jewelry that I bought in the UAE. Is it safe to sell them on Facebook Marketplace? Selling jewelry on Facebook Marketplace is iffy. Just be careful with that. I've had like some expensive watches that I try to sell on there and things like, it's just a lot of spam that you'll get in Messenger, and you don't really know where to trust. What I would do is I would go to a local jewelry store. I'd get it priced out there, and then I would compare it out in eBay and some other places like that, and get it authenticated at a jewelry store, and then I would go sell it on somewhere like that, eBay. And eBay a lot of times will, with expensive jewelry, they'll get it, they'll verify it, and then they'll send it out. So they have a system that they do that. Jennifer asked, what's the cheapest thing I ever sold? I mean, I've given stuff away for free. I've sold stuff for just a couple bucks. I mean, like right now I want to like purge a lot of our attic and stuff. So this is very helpful for me. So I'm going to pull out everything from there tomorrow and just start selling stuff to declutter some of that. And then what I want you guys to do, once we get that money, we'll take it and we'll figure out what we like. What do we want to do more of? But this beginning, the goal here over the next 3 days is I want to get every single person on here at least one listing on a site, whether it's eBay, Mercari, Facebook, any of those, where you're selling something. So you understand how to take the photos, how to clean it up, how to title it, how to write your description, and then how to talk to people when they're asking about the product. And so over these 3 days, remember, I'm a day ahead of you. I have my items. I already know what they are. So what your job is today, your homework is to go out there and find some items to sell. Even if that means jumping in the car with your parents and going over to the thrift shop and taking a shop. And while you're there, if you're going to buy some items, what you want to do is you want to have your phone there with you and be on eBay and do exactly what I just did, where you look and see what they sold for. So you can actually look up the items there. There's apps that you can get where you can scan the barcode of the item and it'll show you what you can sell it for. You can actually go to Walmart. Okay, here's a crazy thing. You can actually go to Walmart, buy stuff in Walmart and sell it on Amazon. I have friends that buy stuff at Walmart and sell it on Amazon for more money. So like, and they have an app that they scan for Amazon and it shows you what, like you can buy those things and sell it on Amazon. So there's a million ways to make money. But in the beginning, I want it to be really easy for you guys. I want you to find something that you have that you no longer use anymore that has value. So that's the trick. The thing that you find has to have value. And how do we check that again? How do we check it? How do we check to see if something has value? Holly asked, what about a fridge? A fridge would be great. How do we check value? Supply and demand. Jennifer said comps. Yes, comps. Supply and demand. For sure. Oh, Sally said garage sale. Yes, you can use garage sale. Garage sale is another site for sure. And if Craigslist is popular in your area, I used to sell a lot of things on Craigslist. Hannah asked, are we going to have homework every day? Okay, this is not really homework. It's an activity. It's an activity, not homework. Homework's probably a bad word for me to use with you guys. It's summertime. If you don't have homework, it's a money-making activity. Money-making activity. Okay? Not homework, money-making activity. So we check supply and demand. Yep. Okay. Wine fridge. Yeah, a wine fridge. Sell that sucker if you don't use it. So Slick Deals. I don't know about Slick Deals. I don't know what Slick Deals is. So I'm not 100% sure about Slick Deals. I've heard of that before, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. And so what I want you to do is I want you to find some items, and then I want you to bring the items tomorrow. And I'm gonna give you an email address real quick that you guys can send an email to if you have questions, or you want to send a picture of your items, or you want me to look at your items tomorrow about how to title them and things like that. You can send a picture of your item and all the information to this email address, and then we'll look at it tomorrow during the class. Okay? So if you want it, so tonight when you have something, just send it in an email. If you don't have an email address or email account, have your parents send it to me. But it's info@teenagetycoon.com. And maybe my team can help me just put it in the chat for me. So you can send an email to info@teenagetycoon.com. It's right in the chat right there. And you can let us know what your item is. And then we can kind of work on it and play with it tomorrow. Because tomorrow I'm going to go into the titling, how to take pictures, how to clean it up, what to say about it, how to write the best description so that it sells faster than anything else on the internet. Because just having the item is not the game. The reason why some of that stuff that we saw today sold and the other stuff didn't is because they have better pictures, they have better descriptions, it's a better title, it's better. Okay? And better will sell better. Okay? Info@teenagetycoon.com. So, yes. Paul asks, is there a method to flip things without first owning them? Yes, there is ways to do that, but it's probably out of the scope. I have an hour with you guys for 3 days. Okay? I have an hour with you for 3 days to try to get you making some money and get you to understand how this goes. If you guys can't make the videos, can't make the meetings, we're recording these, we will be sending them out so we can get them to you. But being here live is always better. You guys can chat with me, you can interact with me, you can ask questions. I'm trying to get all the questions answered. So, okay, so you can flip anything, okay? Flip anything. Some of you said you're gonna go mow grass, some of you said you're gonna set up lemonade stand, all that stuff. That's time. You're flipping your time. Okay. So I get as much money as you can for that time that you spend. That's the goal. So find some of those things. If you guys want to go deeper, like an in-person, we have an event coming up on June 19th and 20th here in Franklin, Tennessee. And I think a lot of you are going to the event already, or you've seen the emails about it. But we are actually going to do like a full-on, we're going to learn about investing. We're going to learn about real estate. We're going to learn about money. We're going to learn about income, jobs, things like that, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're interested and you want to do more of that stuff, then my team will drop a link to that 2-day workshop there too. So it's right there in the chat. I'll talk about it a little bit more probably on day 2 or day 3. But if you guys are like, I love this stuff, I want my kids, I want you to plan for it, especially if you're not local. It's at a hotel in Franklin. It's going to be really great. We'll have a couple hundred kids there going through. We're actually going to do a full-on simulation for a day where you guys are going to make money, compete with each other to see who has the highest net worth at the end of the event. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's not virtual, I'm sorry. It's just not possible for us. We do a lot of virtual stuff like this, but that 2-day workshop is being a simulation, a scenario-based training, in person, going around from like booth to booth, buying real estate, selling real estate, doing all the cool stuff we're doing with the kids. And we just can't film it and play it. It just doesn't work virtually, unfortunately. We do a lot of hybrid stuff though. What do I recommend flipping? Sally asked. I recommend flipping whatever you have available. Whatever is the cheap right now, whatever is the lowest cost thing that you can get. So ideally something in your house, something that that you have that has value. And look, a lot of these things are probably some things that your parents have. And the thing is, you're putting in the work. If you put in the work, you'll get paid. And so if you find something, work with your parents and say, hey, I got this assignment tonight. I want to make $100 in the next 3 days. I got to bring something to sell that has value, has over $100 of value, right? And the way you make that, you add value to it is you clean it up. Like I had to, that coffee maker, Will had to scrub the coffee maker. Like it had coffee on it. It was dirty. It was been in the attic for like a year. He had to clean it up. Then we had to research the price. Then he had to take pictures. He had to upload the pictures. He had to make the listing. He had to write it. And that's how he added value, because he did the work to get it sold. Your parents are busy. Your parents don't have, if you go up in the attic, say, hey, mom and dad, can I clean out the attic and sell a couple things in there? And then maybe we can talk about how we're going to split the proceeds. I don't know. And if they say no, and say, hey, what if I could buy some of the stuff from you up in the attic, but I'm going to pay you later. Give me a week and I'll pay you in a week. Then you sell it, you pay them their split, and you make money. So, figure out how to do that. That would be my first recommendation to you, because that's the easiest thing to do with no money. And that's where I want to start with you guys. How do we do that with no money? And so parents, if you're listening or you're watching this, whether it's on the replay or now, then help your kids. Help them, because once my son Will did this with me, now he sees the value of things. He starts to understand not only what we're selling, but the difference between when we buy something and what it's worth after we buy it. So like what he can sell it for down the road. Like we buy a $20 stuffed animal. I say, hey, Will, remember the last time we looked at this stuffed animal to sell? It's only $1. You still want me to buy this $20 stuffed animal? He's like, no. I'm like, let's buy some things for you that you're going to play with that have value afterwards. And so it's been really helpful for me with my son to go through this exercise, so they understand value. They understand what things are worth. And then he appreciates a lot of that stuff a lot more. And then he has his own money now. So he has his own money, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. Once we make this money, tomorrow or the next day, once we make the money, we got to give some, we got to invest some, and then we get to spend some. And we'll make our buckets for those three things. So, all right. I had a great time today. I hope you guys did too. If you have questions that come up or along the way you need some help, shoot us an email at that link, info@teenagetycoon.com. And I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as possible. We have, 100 people on here. There's probably like, I don't know, 2 or 3 kids together. So families, we have hundreds of families that'll watch the recordings. I'm just really thankful that all of you showed up on your summer break and your summer holiday. And so I had a great time today. Remember, tomorrow, don't come without an item. Don't come tomorrow without an item. You guys, I want you to have an item, okay? I want you to have something so that you can go through this process with me. Okay? You have to have something. Don't be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to come here for these 3 days and watch, and then I'll do it later, because you won't do it. It's about accountability. Everybody agree? Hey, give me a number 5 in the chat if you agree that you're going to come tomorrow with an item. Give me a number 5 in the chat. Okay, that's a lot of 5s. That's a lot of 5s. So tomorrow we'll come with an item. And then tomorrow what we're going to do is I'm going to go through how to clean it up, how to list it. We're going to look at other listings as examples, good ones, bad ones. And I'm going to show you exactly how you market your products, okay? And if you understand marketing, marketing rules the world, okay? Marketing is the thing that makes money. So if you can learn marketing and understand marketing, you'll never have a problem making money for the rest of your life. I promise you that. Marketing and sales make the world go around. So I want to teach you that over the next 2 days. Tomorrow, marketing, day 3, sales. That's what we're going to do. Sound good? Okay, now everybody unmute and say, oh, I didn't say, turn on your cameras if you can. Everybody unmute and say bye.
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 Johnny, you guys are so cool. I can't wait to see you guys in Tennessee.
Bye.